It's still notorious for piracy, and piracy still does occur there.
So I thought it was about time we gave Esper a bit of a clean around our waterline.
That behind me is Langkawi, which means we've left.
This is proper sailing.
Hello, yep, we're here. First stop on our new adventure. We've started, we've left, we're on our way.
In this episode, we promised you that we are going to talk more about our future passage plan. So what we're going to be planning to do over the next couple of months. So we're going to talk about that in a bit more detail.
Before we left, you had a little bit of cleaning to do, didn't you?
I thought it was about time we gave Esper a bit of a clean around our waterline. We can have a quick look at Esper's bum and just see how generally filthy she's looking. It's a two-stage process. The first thing that we do is we use a scraper and we run around the waterline with the scraper, especially if you've got hard build-up of barnacles. So this is the first thing that you do. So you go all the way around once, get rid of all those horrible barnacles. And then, and we should have featured this in our video of our cheap things for the boat, because I use this all the time. It is a scourer with, it looks like an iron, and it's got this great grip. And these scourers, they come in three different strengths. A light one, this is a standard one like what you'd get for your kitchen scourer, and then a heavy duty black one. And this works really well. Once you've got rid of all the big barnacles, you can then go around and scrape with this, and it works a treat, and it brings up the waterline looking new.
Did we have many barnacles, by the way?
Yeah, we had a few, yes. Our waterline does need repainting as it's a little bit lower in the water. So it's something, something we have to keep an eye on.
Normally I would try and help you, although you do tend to do that job mostly. But the reason I didn't help him this time, because I had intended to, is you may hear my voice that sounds a bit strange. I've had a really bad cold, so I'm struggling a bit to be heard. I'm hoping by the next time you hear me, I will sound normal again. I'm
hoping by the next time you hear her, she'll have gotten down in the water and done the top sides, which is still filthy. The other thing we had to do, of course, was to take in some incredible sunsets. I think I went out one evening and you sat on the boat and you captured some rather beautiful sunsets, didn't you?
Yeah, they were really, really good. It's as though they were sending us off. We had some spectacular sunsets from Bass Harbour. And they, of course, coincided with the call to prayer, because it's Ramadan at the moment, and that's the time when all the Muslim population, which is the majority of Malaysia, are able to go back home or go out and stuff themselves because they'll have been fasting all day. And so it's accompanied with the most magnificent sunset.
With that all done, it's time to leave Langkawi.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
That behind me is Langkawi, which means we've left. Because over there's the sun, it's the morning, and we're heading south. And we're going to Penang. But before we get to Penang, there's a little group of islands just off the coast of mainland Malaysia that we've gone past several times and never stopped at. So we thought we would do an overnighter there, just have a look at them. They're deserted. We understand that one of them's really pretty, one of them offers a lot of shelter, and we'll make our mind up when we get there as to where exactly we're going to drop the anchor. So really looking forward to that. One of the reasons we have to be quite careful and keep a constant watch in the Malacca Strait, this is the top part of it, apart from the fishing boats and the fish traps, are these fish stakes, which you don't really see until you're quite close by. You get these little groups of stakes just sticking straight out of the water.
So the wind's picked up to 10 knots and it's actually moved around, so it's now a broad reach, which means that we can get the sails out. And so for the first time well, apart from that time the other week when we got the sails out in Kev, this is proper sailing. So as you know, we've got a new lower cut, larger Yankee. It's still fairly high cut. Someone said that it's now a Genoa. I'm not sure if it is. Anyone out there got any recommendations on the definition and difference between a Genoa and a Yankee? Looks like a nice little spot. I think that's where we're going to anchor. Okay, so we said that we would talk in more detail about our passage plan for the next couple of months. Liz, being the librarian that she is, has been beavering away and making notes. We sat down with our friends Graham and Katrina as well and got some tips off of them, and we've actually been in touch with a couple that we met in Crabby Boat Lagoon who are currently in the Anambas Islands, and they've been sending us emails, so we've been getting some feedback from people as to where to go. But Liz has been boning up on specific places.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, just to say that it's a southwest monsoon now, so that's hitting the west coast of Thailand, really, you know, battering the coast there. Had we gone to Sumatra when we originally thought, before all the things went wrong, we would have been fine, we'd have been there. But to get there now, completely impossible. So we're doing the next best thing, which is to look for a whole new cruising ground, and that's the Gulf of Thailand, which sounds really exciting.
Yes, well, a couple of things. First of all, when we say Gulf of Thailand, don't think that we're going back to Thailand necessarily. The Gulf of Thailand is a huge area.
Yeah, there's Malaysia to the south, there's Borneo, there's Cambodia, and there's a lot of countries around there. It's a big, big area. And it's not very far as the crow flies from where we are now, just straight over the peninsula. But by sea, it's a long way. You've got to go all the way down through the Malacca Straits, round the Cape, and then back up to get where we are, almost straight across from here.
Yes, it is. It's almost straight
across
there.
So first of all, we've got to go through the Malacca Strait. It's still notorious for piracy, and piracy still does occur there. But it's all on the Sumatran side, on the western side. So we'll be going down through the Malaysian side, steering clear of those more dangerous waters. And then we have to go through the busiest shipping channel in the world, which is Singapore, and then round the Cape. So first of all, the most likely place we're going to stop is going to be Penang.
Yep, one of our favourite places that we've been to so far in this area. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, or Georgetown is, and it's literally 20 miles just down the coast there.
And then heading south, we're going to probably stop at Pankor, where some very good friends of ours are living. We met them in India 7 years ago.
Yeah, Brian and Maureen.
Yeah.
Hello.
We're going to stop and spend a couple of days with them. As you've probably already gathered, we're not doing this as a race. We're going to stop when we feel that we want to stop, when the time is right, when the weather tells us to stop, and we want to see as much of the land as we go. We want to engage in some of the cultural activities that we find along here. So after Pankor, the obvious stop is going to be Port Klang. That's a port where you can stock up on provisions. If we wanted to, we could hop in a car, we could hire a car and go to KL. It's probably the only time we'd ever see KL, but that's going to depend on times and so forth. Port Dickson is the next stop, which will enable us to then go to Malacca, the town of Malacca, which is twinned with Penang by UNESCO. It's a World Heritage Site. And we love Georgetown and Penang, but I'm told that the Malacca is supposed to be even more beautiful, older, and really well preserved, so I really don't want to miss Malacca. Then it's on to Singapore itself. We're not going to be checking in at Singapore. We're going to take the first anchorage on the Malaysian side, where we're going to wait for the timing to be right to catch the current and the winds and everything to get us right across the Strait of Singapore to the other side of where we're going to be back in Malaysia, at Pengalay.
It is a shame that we're not stopping at Singapore. We do know people there, Bill and Natalie, and I think John might be there as well. There's a few people based in Singapore, but it's a little bit more complicated to check in. It's a little bit more expensive. Of course, Singapore generally is a very expensive place to be on the boat, and I think now you need an agent as well to check in and out. So what people tend to do is to literally skip around the corner. We've got to look out for Raffles Lighthouse, haven't we?
Yep.
Now Raffles Lighthouse is almost on the bottom sort of southwest edge, and our understanding is that you have to hit it at the right tide.
Yeah.
If you get the tide wrong, you end up going backwards. So there's going to be quite a bit of planning there involved in actually making sure that we get that bit right. But then when we come around the corner, we're back into Malaysia again, aren't we?
Yeah.
And there is I think there's a naval port where that's our first place that we anchor.
Yeah, that's Pengerley. It's still not. We still haven't gone around the actual Cape at that stage, but that's where we stop, take a breath, having got through Singapore, and then we go off the next day or whatever. Yeah, so that's Singapore. There are lots of shipping lanes, and we're told you have to stay in the shipping lanes or stay out of the shipping lanes. There's a lot of marine traffic, and it's actually really well policed. We have an AIS transponder, so we're hoping everyone will see us, and we'll be able to see everyone else. Ideally, you don't want to do it at night.
No. Yeah. Yes, we're trying to do day hops
Most
where
of
possible, but some of them are quite long.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So after Singapore, once we've got to the naval base at Pengerley, we're then going to go round the Cape, and as we go around the Cape, we should then get some very nice southeasterly winds, which will help push us into the Gulf of Thailand. And our first stop is going to be Tioman, the Tioman group of islands off Malaysia. Looking forward to that.
It's a duty-free island, and I think that is then the launch point for going to the Anambas Islands.
Yeah.
And that is the group of Indonesian islands, which are over to about 60 miles offshore, I think, from Tioman.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the Anambas Islands.
Yeah, there's a small archipelago, supposed to be really pretty, very remote, not very well known, and we've never seen it on any vlog anywhere, so hopefully we're going to bring you something brand new there. That's, of course, Indonesia, and we will have had to have checked out of Tioman. We have a 30-day visa, so we can stay there for a month if we want to. And then we're going to head back to Tioman to check back into Malaysia, and then we're going to head north.
We think.
We think.
We don't know. This is part of the fun and the excitement. Yeah. We're actually not sure, but yes, that is the plan, to head further north. And what's the next group of islands?
Well, there's the Perhentian Islands,
Perhentian,
there's Redang, and then you check out at Terengganu in Malaysia before you head over to Thailand. It all depends on the weather, but the northeast wind monsoon doesn't really kick in until November, so we should have good sailing right through until then. It's going to depend on our mood and what we think we're going to be doing. But if we do head north into the waters of Thailand itself, we then got Koh Samui and Koh Tao. It's part of a group that our friend John was saying we shouldn't miss. It's the Ao Thong National Park. It's supposed to be a beautiful marine park, and apart from those islands, there are lots of very small, more remote islands. So we could have a really good play around there. Again, I've not seen any video footage of those islands from a boat, so that could be something new as well.
Yeah. Well, there we go. That's pretty much our passage plan, roughly written on the back of a cigarette packet in pencil, ready to be rubbed out as it changes when situations change, as they always do.
Yeah, we kind of passage plan on the way, don't we? We've got a rough idea, we've got the outline, and then it depends on so many different variables.
Yeah. But I think the next step now is we're going to head to Penang.
Yep.
And then that's when we're really going to sit down and thrash out some more of these ideas. Then get to Lumut to see Brian and Maureen, and we'll collate all the information that we have together and make a thorough plan.
Yeah, with lots of great footage.
Of course.